Back about the time I was in nursing school, I picked up a card trick, and it was a very good card trick. Didn't do much with it till years later. Found out that someone else knew one, and I showed them mine. They showed me theirs, and before I knew it, I had several. And I started using them in the classroom, sort of as an icebreaker before class would start. And I found out that it was a great way to help people feel at ease, drop their defenses. A lot of people, especially some of the macho guys I was training, didn't want to deal with this emergency care and health and safety and almost what I call some of the old firefighter mentality. You know, we're not Band-Aid pushers. And so I had to get them to be relaxed and to feel at ease and to open up to what we were about to do with them. And it just evolved. And so my hobby of doing magic has been a very, very great fun hobby. I can bring a smile to a lot of people's faces very quickly. But it relates to the classroom. There's also a couple of tricks, believe it or not, that actually teach a point. So I'll actually show them how the trick was done later to make the magic point, and the teaching point, rather, that they can learn what to do and that it's not complicated and put them at ease doing it. So it's a great way to put people at ease. It's a great way to have a lot of fun. I think that most training has to be entertaining. Not all of us have to be entertainers. I certainly am, but not everyone is an entertainer. But we have to be entertaining because we're not talking to people who really want to go out and do this for the most part, especially at the initial care level. So we have to entertain them. We have to be, make them comfortable with the environment. And it's a known educational fact that people will remember facts, insignificant facts from situations they enjoyed. They will block out tremendous amounts of facts from situations they didn't enjoy, that were uncomfortable, that were painful, that were agonizing. And so we want to make the training experience as entertaining as possible so that it becomes as effective as possible. We sort of coined the word edutainment. And edutainment seems to produce some really effective results in terms of people actually responding and doing good care. So I've sort of put the two together. Now, what you'll notice here is that all the cards in the deck are different, and on the back they're totally identical. That's so we tell them apart. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to select two cards. Okay, look at those cards. And, all right, show them to the camera so everyone can see them. Now, put them in the deck, Trish. Anywhere you would like, separately, please. Okay, now I'm going to close the deck up. Now, you did, in fact, put those cards in the deck separately. Not on the top, not on the bottom, but in the deck. Well, you weren't paying close attention, Tish, because while you weren't looking, they actually went down to the bottom. Those the same two cards? No, they're not. They're different. They're the same numbers, but they're opposite suits. And so what I was able to do was set the deck up. Let me get this out of here again. And I put a 7 and 9 on top and a 7 and 9 on the bottom, but they were opposites. And then I convinced you to pick the top two cards. And people say, well, how'd you do that? I said, pick two cards. You heard me say pick, and people do remember what they hear much more than what they see. So you heard me say pick two. You picked them. You looked at them. You put them in the deck in opposite places. And I then said you put them not on the top, not on the bottom. You put them in the deck. And in those few seconds that passed, you forgot which ones they were. And then I said they're really on the bottom. And so if we don't have a good way of looking at a patient in an emergency, a plan of action, we're going to forget. So we use the ABCs as a good methodology for remembering. They happen to be the priorities of life anyway, and how to remember what to do next. Or else you could easily be distracted.